Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P-Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab in the wee hours of the morning. The sun is up now, but do what I do for you out here. Got my book, We Recognizing My Girl, The Mysteries of ISIS. I prefer to call it ISET, but for political purposes, ISIS. All right, today we're going to ask the question. Do you did you know or do you know that mastering the great truths with shady disciplines will lead you to what we call the Great Awakening, aka Nihas? It's one of my favorite lessons, so let's get the party started. And then we are on the path of wisdom to immortality and enlightenment, and these are the things that you need to know to make that possible. That's right. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tuning and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. If you're a right, excuse me, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Sorry about that. Let's get it together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You women on through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know that self. And two, might be true. Right thinkers. Let's talk about how mastering of the great truth through shady discipline, that means daily practice and implementing what you're learning, leads you to what we call the Great Awakening. Let's go. I got two sides. Great truths, shady disciplines. They go together. You compare them up as you go down. It's four of them. And at the bottom, you're going to reach the place of what we call the Great Awakening. Let's go. This should be fun. Nice little lesson. This is what I like about having knowledge. I can share it from a perspective of not me telling you what to do. No, I'm sharing the book. Give me information from the book. I'm preaching now. Let's go. This is my sermon. That's right. I'm teaching, excuse me. Great truths. Number one. The number one great truth. And these are lessons that you can practice and profess for yourself. Watch this. God is one, and all things manifest through him. Netter. Netter means one. Everything after that is a Neteru, aka God and Goddess, because they're going to come in pairs. Mayat represents duality, and everything outside the one, everything comes from the again, and again. It ain't but one. Everything after that is paired up. Moving on. This is a philosophical concept, so please, I'm tired. Break it down, make it. No, I'm tired of doing that. I'm just trying to make the lesson for you. Let's go. But God, one. Pay attention. Lesson. Listen to the wisdom teachings and become wise through experience. Why? By implementing them. Then you obtain wisdom through experience. So you become conscious of God is one and you become part of him. Learn the mysteries as taught by an authentic, not the BS's, not the homemade teachers, but an authentic spiritual teacher, aka sage or saint. One which will allow this profound statement to be understood, you need a teacher. I teach. Break it down. Give it to you so you can understand it. I read it. I try to break it down for you. That's what I consider to be teaching. Let's go. Number 2, great truth. Unrighteousness brings fetters. That's my word. And these cause ignorance of truth. When you are egotistical, that means you're not godly. That means you're not thinking on the next level. You're thinking right here on the level of what? Self. Materialistic things. That's what they try to explain to you. And when you live that lifestyle, you're going to have consequences. They call fetters. Why? You caused them on yourself. Adverse situations, stuff that's happened that you didn't cause, you create. Fetters are stuff that you caused on yourself. Side chick. Dude, when you get caught, that's your own doing. That's a fetter. It didn't just happen. No. You caused that to happen. Cause and effect. You did that, and that's the effect. In life, that's how it's done. It ain't gonna do it, man. Man have to abide by them laws. We can't control them or break them. Why? You got to suffer consequences. That's the whole purpose of the law. Abide by it, and you fine. Moving on. I'm not a habitual lawbreaker. I used to be. Now, I just don't break the law. Why? I ain't trying to do that nonsense. Number 2, unrighteousness, meaning doing ignorant, dumb stuff, what? For personal pleasures and monetary things, whatever it is that you made you do the wrong thing, don't justify it being wrong. It's still wrong. Whatever reason you got for being wrong, don't change it being wrong. Stop making excuses. Okay. So number 2, how could you prevent that unrighteous acts? Acting and living by truth. I had a guy tell me, nobody knows the truth. No, you don't know the truth. A whole lot of people know the truth. When you can live it, it applied to your life, it becomes a philosophy and a fact of life with the right action, and you will become righteous and virtuous. And by doing so, that's how you purify one's heart. I offer up a selfless service. I treat people right. I do what I need to do and make sure I do what's right. That's it. That purifies my heart. Why? Why your heart got to be purified on a day-to-day basis? Because at the end of the day, when it's time to be judged, you want that thing to be light as my feather. That's why. So it's the way you live. Simple as that. Moving on. Karma is you get what you deserve. You be a sneaking, deceitful, and getting away with it so you think because nobody caught you. That's what karma takes care of. Oh, no, this is yours. And that stuff weighs the heart down. So you doing that stuff, you're going to have a heavy heart at Judgment Day. Anything that you do here for pleasures and gain helps your heart. Okay, simple as that. Acting, living by truth, and applying the philosophy and using the right action, selfless service, and becoming righteous and virtuous. That's how you purify one's heart, by just acting, doing, and being a good person. That's it. Sneaking, deceitful people's heart is not pure. It's heavy. Okay. Number 3. This is good. I like this. Devotion to God allows one's personality to what? Free itself from what? From fetters. What's that? Ignorance. I'm about to run. Because these is the question that you want to have the answers to for the person to understand so they can implement it and use it and find out for themselves. Oh, yeah. Hello. That's the purpose. But when you have devotion to self, God don't play a role in your life. That's the ego. Ego is all about me, the self, and which is fine, but you have to aspire to what? Raise your consciousness above your waist. That's why. I tell you, I want you from the neck up. I don't care about the rest of the stuff that it means nothing to me. So that's my philosophy because it's all mental. When you devote your time to God, become God conscious, become woke, whatever you want to call it. But when you are devoting your time to doing what's right, that's devotion to divine. I hold myself accountable to do what's right because I'm devoted to God. Or you are holy and vow, you perfect. No, I'm just saying I'm doing what I need to do. Okay? You can do whatever it is you want to do. I'm telling you what I do. That's all. And the way I do it got me where I am. So I can tell you that much. Devotion to the divine, holding yourself accountable, Maya. Worshiping the ritual and showing divine love for God allows you, your personality, purified by what? The truth. And that's how you eradicate the subtle ignorance that binds it to what? Mortal existence. If you believe it's just you got one life to live, and that's it. I got to have all the fun I couldn't get, all the kill I just like, I only get one shot. Ignorant. And you're going to die. Okay? Simple as that. Why? You don't have God in the mix. If you know God don't die. God don't allow his spirit to be killed. Placed over, slid over, but not killed. The body will die. Understand that? It's all mental, it's all conceptual, but it's all true to life. Why? You know how many people you know live past 100 years? The physical body just start wearing out. Something like that. Moving on, I ain't got time for that. I ain't here to play the doctor's thing. So, last one, number 4. The Shedy. Shedy is to study profoundly. That's the basis of what right thinking is found on. Right thinking is Shedy. Study profoundly when? Daily. And you implement what you learn it when? Daily in your life. Simple as that. You ain't got to stop being nothing, stop doing nothing, but you have to practice and profess and do the thing that you're learning daily. That's all. And the Shedy discipline, I call spiritual discipline, are the greatest. What? The Shedy discipline, right thing philosophy, are the greatest form of worship to the divine. And this is why I love my pastor and my church family when they are Christians. They are devoted to Christian concept. I don't have a problem with that at all. Why? Because it holds them accountable to live right. And I'm on board with that. That's why I fellowship with them. I went to many churches. I used to visit churches, waste of time, a true waste of my time. My church, you can feel the spirit in there. When you go to church and you don't get engulfed that ain't church. That's a gathering of a bunch of people. Okay, I don't subscribe to that. I drive an hour. I don't need to be hanging out with a bunch of people for a couple of hours for nothing. Okay, I go to share and give and receive spiritual love, and I get a biblical message from my dude. So I'm fully aware of religion and the concept of church. Please understand that. Everybody has the right to worship their way. I respect the way they worship, so I worship and fellowship with them. That's why. And the flip side to the Shedy spiritual discipline, and you do it by what? Living it. That's how you show devotion to God. And when you do that, he will bless you. That's the caveat to that. And everybody on my prayer line who offer up prayer eventually get that prayer answered. Not because we praying for them, no, because they're putting the work in and earning it. But psychologically, we get the group prayer. I get it, I understand it. That's why I do it. I understand it. I testify when I get the goodness. I'll go right there and let them know I got mine too. My prayers were answered. You do that with like-minded people. You go tell anybody, they don't want to hear that nonsense. But like-minded people, they understand. All right, here we go. Let's go. Meditation. The one thing I don't consider or like about religion, y'all don't emphasize meditating. I know why. But y'all don't put that on the trestle board of things to do to get you to God. And that's the main way to get to God. Y'all rather be brainwashed and led astray with somebody else's story. No, have your own connection with God. The mystical experience that y'all claim to have when you do it right, that's what's supposed to happen. But meditation is the main caveat. I'm a 15-year practicing yogi meditator. Meditation daily allows you, your whole person, to go where? Beyond this world of time and space. When I go to meditate, I leave this behind. All this don't have nothing to do when I go talk to God. Don't need none of that. Okay? And the gross and subtle ignorance of mortal human existence to discover what? That which transcends time and space. I don't know what time it is. I don't care how long it takes. Could care less. I used to take time how much I meditate. Could care less now. Why? When I go, I go. When I'm done, I'm done. However long it took in this time, I could care less. I got my time. That's my time to spend with God, so to speak. And everybody does it on their own terms. I ain't got a problem with that. 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours. Don't make a difference. But if you're connecting with God, that's all that counts. Moving on. And that can only happen if you put the work in. And those 4 things, great truth, practice, Shedy discipline, will get you to what we call the Great Awakening. What's that? That's the third eye open, the pineal gland. The Great Awakening only occurs when what? When all of the great truths have been mastered and realized by what? Perfecting them of the Shedy disciplines. Put them together, make them work, and you have the Great Awakening as the result, the end result. And you will realize what? Their true nature, and you'll actually have your own God experience of oneness with what? The transcendental supreme being. You don't believe in God, you know God for yourself. You know you are one with God consciously, mentally. So you act accordingly. From that point on, you should be a different person. We call them woke, conscious, whatever. I like to see people who conscious, but you got people who believe they're conscious. You gotta watch them. You gotta be careful. They get fragments, they get bits and pieces, and they haven't really put it all together. They ain't got the big picture. They got stuff, but the picture ain't clear. I've been studying this Egyptian philosophy mysteries over 30 years. But I've come to the conclusion what it's all about. After all that time, peace here, peace there, peace there. I'm learning this, I'm learning. I get that. So now I got the big picture. Know what I see? The brain. They knew about the brain a long time ago. That pineal gland. Okay? When you see a guy with the pine cone, that's symbolically letting you know they know about the pineal gland. You see my eye? Okay? It's always looking that way. That's eye Haru. That's the eye of consciousness. That's letting you know, oh, I know who I am. I'm conscious of who I am. That's what the eye signifies. Oh, I thought the eye was also, yeah, you thought. But yeah, I said if you thought, that means you didn't know. So stop with the thought, get information, and have knowledge. That's all you got to do. So, Great Awakening is when you see God, what, face to face. Call that place, what, pineal? In the Bible. That's what your boy said. He had it, his experience. I got the ancient experience, and they both the same thing, same experience. He just presented it different. We presented it different. I'm trying to present it to you as best I can. In the words of Malcolm, my enemy is necessary. Old, new, ancient, my own. I'm reaching everything I could to give you knowledge of self. You can have your own great awakening for yourself. That's how it's happening. That's how it's done. Moving on. I'm going to wrap it up with this Shita Netta. The culture and the purpose of life. According to them, I'm going to read it to you again. You heard it before. I'm going to keep giving it to you because this is an ancient proverb that you need to understand. Men and women are to become God-like through a life of righteousness, virtue, and the cultivation of one's spirit through scientific knowledge. That means you have to study. That's what we give you the great truth for. That's scientific knowledge. And practice them daily. And your bodily discipline, physical exercise is a must also. I go to the gym every day. Pray, meditate every day. Those 3 things, you got to put them together and make them work for you. However you break it down is your choice. I do mine on my turn. But those are things that will get you to what? Woke. To know God, to know yourself. God is God. Self is you. You need to know you and God are one. Keep running that down to you. And in the physical form, in this human form, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. If you're not having joy, the highest form of joy, peace, contentment obtained in the physical form is when the true meaning of life is discovered by the individual. I've discovered the true meaning of life. I ran around like Chicken Little with my head cut off about 15 years ago. I got a guy now who having his own experience and freaking out. Yeah, that's what happens. But once you get seasoned, once you all that stuff don't excite you no more, so I'm trying to help the brother out. But I'm letting him know, my man, ain't nothing you said new to me. I got yeah. Everybody think because it's them that they have to express it. They got to. Okay, tell me a story. You ain't told me nothing that I don't already know yet, and that's not enlightening me. You're just what? I'm counseling you. Why? Listen to what you're saying. I already know what you're saying. It's yours, so I got to listen. You want to tell? Yeah, no problem. Much respect. But if you're going to grow after you think you're woke, you have to listen to somebody who's already woke also. You ain't got to convince me how woke you are. I know you're woke, okay? But I'm woke too. So you got to try to wake me up. I'm woke. Sorry about that. That's personal. But the highest form of this physical form is to become woke, not rich and famous. Y'all think material. No. If you wake up and realize you and God are one, man, that's the highest of the high. Okay? We call it nihas. When the human being comes in harmony with his or her life through righteous, virtuous living, then now it is possible for them to reflect and what? Meditate daily upon the human condition. And some people pray, same thing, and realize what? Their limitations of the worldly pursuits. It ain't about obtaining things. No, it's about serving the Lord and living a fruit and beneficial lifestyle that works for you. I incorporate teaching in that part of my life. That's why I'm here every day for you. But you have to find out, like TDJ, find out what works for you and you work it. Okay, I'm working it. I'm working it, trust me. And when there is peace and harmony in one's life from what they do on a day-to-day basis, if you got a job that you don't like, you ain't never going to be happy until what? You retire. That's you're gonna be at peace. Why mind is constantly agitated if you're not at peace in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Relationship, friendship, don't make a difference. If you're not putting in what needs to be done, you're not gonna get out what you're supposed to in life. That's cause and effect. That's a law, God's law. And a human being can practice any of the varied disciplines designated as either yoga, Shita Netta, right thing philosophy, Mayat, Semi Tawi, whatever it's called, you can practice any one of them in order to what? Promote your evolution, what? Towards the ultimate goal of life. To know thyself, to reach awakening, to become knowledgeable who you are with what we call spiritual enlightenment. God is spirit. Living, devoting your time to God makes you spiritual. Religious people practice that. They call it that, but it's when you living right, you living spiritual. Simple as that. Whether you call it Christian, Muslim, Jew, I don't care. I know if you're doing the right things, that's spiritual. Why? Spiritual enlightenment is the awakening of a human being to the awareness of what we know to be God and the transcendental essence in which binds the universe and which is also eternal and immutable. That's the spirit that's in us. We need to be conscious of that. That's what he gave us a conscience for, to recognize him. He realized, wait a minute, hold up. I done got all, whoa. All this work I put in, and nobody gonna recognize me. Oh, hell to the no. I need humans. So he created us. And he figured we were so good, he gonna play the mind game with himself. I love my man Alan Watts. He put it where God playing tricks, because why? If you know everything already. It's cool for a minute, but after a while it gets boring. Hence, man. Okay, why? We can now give God his props, okay, and have a human experience in the meantime. And God can what? Play peekaboo with himself. Not he's so good at what? Forgetting who he is. He let us come into the world not knowing who the hell we are. But the gimmick is the what? Know thyself. The hell of a game, God. I like we call it life. To him, it's a what? Matrix simulation, whatever it is. But we living in it. We part of it. And he's the ultimate. So understand that. In this discovery, self-discovery, is also a sobering, ecstatic realization that what? You, the human being, is one with the transcendental essence. You figure me and God and me, that's kind of hard to conceive, right? But we try to walk you along that path so you can have the understanding for yourself. And with this realization, that's the purpose of this book, comes great what? Joy, peace, and the understanding of power to have what? Your own experience to the fullest and the fulfillment of life, and for you to realize your purpose of life doing your time here on earth. Realizing what you should have did after death don't do you no good. Realize what you should have did while you're here don't serve you nowhere. That's Monday morning quarterback. And after the fact, don't help you one bit. The lotus, I tell you, that's the plant that grows in the stinky, funky place. That's like in the hood, but you raise up all good to God. The lotus is the symbol of what we call Shita philosophy, meaning the turning toward the light, truth, peace, and the transcendental harmony, becoming one with what? God. So I want to keep this lesson right here. If I can get to it right quick, right? End goal right here. End game right here. End game is to have the great awakening of the Netherrean or right thinking philosophy religion. Nihas. Nihas is the word that your boys can't define. It means to wake up. Okay, to what? To awakening to your higher existence, your godliness. In the book called the Pert M. Haru text, it is said in ancient times, Nuk Pa Neta, Neta, U Ashu Ren. What? Klingon from Star Trek. It means I am that same God, the Supreme One, who have a myriad of mysterious names. That's me, the one and only. But y'all call me by a bunch of different names. But like my man said, they call me Mr. Tibbs. Okay? But the goal for all right thinkers, all Netherrean disciplines, is to have discovery of the meaning of who am I for yourself. To unravel the mysteries of life. We call it the game, they say mystery, okay? And to fathom the depths of eternity and what we know to be immortality or infinity, meaning forever. God is everlasting. So once you connect with God, that makes you what? Immortal and everlasting in spirit and consciousness. The key is you're conscious of yourself forever at this point. This is the task. I'm taking it home right here. Of all right thinkers. Man, no, how about this? All human beings. Not just right thinkers, no, all human beings. And it is to be accomplished through hard work, perseverance, when? In this very lifetime. Because if you don't, you'll repeat and reincarnate. That's the concept. The idea is to stop the reincarnation of your spirit and your consciousness by waking up the consciousness with your spirit and becoming one and go home where you come from. Taking it home right here. Here's the I. I love this. This is my thing right here. That's my calling card. Okay? That's why. And it means, let them tell you from the book. Take it home right here. This can be done on earth by means and the ways of a Neteru in emulating them. The God and gods that I teach about, every aspect of their character, and finally what? Becoming like him. I'm going to introduce you to a new word. Akhus. A-K-H-U-S. Okay? Write it down. Akhus. Know what it means? An enlightened being. So the question, are you an Akhus? If not, become a right thinker, and I help you become an Akhus. Why? I'm an enlightened you. You'll become an enlightened being with knowledge of self. Hey, hey, hey. Akhus is an enlightened being walking the earth as a giant and in accomplishing what? Great deeds such as the creation of the universe. You are enlightening people. You're putting people in a position to better themselves. That makes you an Akhus, a.k.a. sage, saint, spiritual preceptor, okay, Sabai. The Ujat, Udjat, what they call the eye of consciousness. It means The eye of Haru is a quintessential symbol of awakening to what? What do you woke up? To the divine consciousness. I know thyself. And representing the concept of what we know to be Nihas. Got it in 30 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I know it took a little long, but boy, I'm doing my thing now. So I ain't really watched the clock, but I'm sure putting my work in. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go. Right thinkers in closing. May you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I know none of my right thinkers who understand now the great truths and the Shedy disciplines have passed away. Nihas. That's what you want.